Hello everybody, welcome back again. This is another video in a short while that I'm doing, and I'm doing this video only because the ATP Circus has come to my hometown, Stockholm, and the tournament starts tomorrow, and we had some qualifiers trying to reach for the main tournament today, and this tournament has a warm place in my heart. This is the first tennis tournament that I watch. The first tournament I went to when I was a little child, a little kid, a curious tennis guy that I've always been in my life. And now finally again, the ATP 250 tournament has arrived to Stockholm again. And I have been there many times before. I was there last year when I saw Stefanos Tsitsipas win his first ATP tournament. There was a bunch of other guys. There was Jon Isner. We had Ernest Gulbis in the final against Tsitsipas, and it was an okay event. Not all of the big five players were there, but some of them have been there in the history. If you look at the scoreboard and if you look at Wikipedia, or if you remember, if you have any old cassette tapes, VHS cassettes at home, maybe you will remember the biggest player in tennis history has stepped their foot on the court of the tournament in Stockholm Open. And this tournament started in 1969, where the pros were invited. And a little thing that I learned from a guy last year when I was at the tournament, he told me that Rod Laver were there and played in 1969, the year where he won the calendar Grand Slam. He has done that twice, 62 and 1969. He was there, but he didn't win. He got upset in the quarters to Australian guy named Stolle, or how you pronounce it anyway. So through the years, this tournament has been a big tournament in the ATP Tour, but it lost its status a couple of maybe 10-15 years ago because they couldn't afford it. It was too expensive. But from 1990 to 1994, they played on indoor carpet, fast indoor carpets in Stockholm Open, and on that time it was a Super 9 tournament like the Masters we have now. So it was a Masters tournament before, from 1990 to 1994, and those years I remember very well because I was there a couple of times. I watched some memorable matches, but before that, everybody knows who's the biggest Swedish tennis player of all time is, and that's Björn Borg. And Björn Borg had some memorable finals there. I think he won one or twice there. He had a great final in 1980 against John McEnroe, a final they have watched on YouTube. And Björn Borg's impact on Swedish tennis, or tennis generally in the world, is he was the first superstar. He was like a rock star back in his time, and he made more people watch tennis, and tennis got famous around the world because of Björn Borg. So Swedish players in the 80s and early 90s have been in many finals here in Stockholm, and I remember a couple of them. One of the tournaments that I was here in Stockholm Open was in 1990 and 1991, where Boris Becker won both of those times against Stefan Edberg. And I remember in the event here in 1991, there was so many good players. It was Pete Sampras. We had Jim Courier, I think. We had a couple of Swedish guys, and we had some good players like Aaron Krickstein, Michael Stich, Goran Ivanisevic. My biggest favorite, my idol in tennis wasn't here, and that was Andre Agassi. And Pete Sampras was here a couple of times, but he just couldn't win this tournament. We had French players like Guy Forget. We had a bunch of Swedish dudes like Magnus Gustafsson, Anders Järryd, Mats Wilander. All of them were here when I saw them. And there were probably many more names that I forgot, but it was it was like a Grand Slam event at that time, because everybody was there almost, because it was just a couple of guys that were injured or tired and didn't play, and Andre Agassi was one of those guys that I couldn't see, and I was very sad, because I wanted to see Andre Agassi, but he never came to Stockholm, what I know. And in 2010 I wasn't there either, and then Roger Federer played, of course. I think he haven't played since then, but in 2010 he was here in Stockholm. He won the tournament, and Del Potro have won this tournament, I think, 2 times, and we had some great tennis players here, of course. Stockholm and Sweden is a good country for they are known for their tennis, but they don't have any stars now, a big star. And the latest Swedish tennis player who won a Grand Slam was Thomas Johansson. I think that was in 2002 Australian Open. And after that, we haven't seen anybody else. We had Magnus Norman in the final of French Open 99 or 97, I think, where he lost to Gustavo Kuerten, who was making a name for himself in that tournament. And later on, he was the former both of them reached the #1 spot on the ranking, Norman for a short while. But anyway, that's a little bit of history about this tournament, if you didn't know. And now about the draw, I'd like to talk a little about the draw. We have some exciting players, many familiar faces actually. The top seed here is Fabio Fognini, and the second seed is Grigor Dimitrov. And we have Denis Shapovalov, who is on the upper section with Fognini. I think those 2 guys will reach the semifinals. And then we have the Swedish brothers Elias and Michael Ymer on the upper section, together with the serve boot from America, Riley Opelka. And on the down section, I think the number 4th seed there, number 3rd seed there is Taylor Fritz from America. And then we have PCB, Pablo Carreno Busta, Sam Querrey. We have Daniel Evans, an exciting name, Kasper Ruud from Norway. And then we have Bernard Tomic there. We have a couple of other guys that has been on the tour for a while, but has fallen out of the map. Maybe some of them are top 100, of course. But those are the main candidates for this tournament. And I will just predict who I think will go to the semis. I think that in the upper section, Fabio Fognini will reach the semifinal and will play against Denis Shapovalov. And in the lower section, I think Dimitrov, who likes to play in Stockholm, what I've heard before, maybe has won here too. I didn't look at the past winners, but I think he will have a decent chance to reach the semifinal. And the other spot in the semifinal, I'll leave it open, because it's very hard to predict, and I just don't want to put any name. Maybe Pablo Carreno Busta or Daniel Evans. Some of them will reach, because this tournament is still an ATP 250 tournament. There are many points on the play here. Some of them want to collect points for the ATP finals. Maybe some of them just trying to do a decent season by winning here. And it's I know Stefano Tsitsipas is not here to defend his title, but we all know after his win here, he almost became a superstar. So he left Shanghai with the semifinal spot. He's aiming for the Masters in Paris, and later on the ATP finals. And who will win this tournament? Based on what I have seen the last weeks, I think Fabio Fognini will lift the trophy next Sunday, and maybe a little bit second upset, second winner I will pick maybe Pablo Carreno Busta. He has played great. He won a title just before the Asian Swing, or maybe it was one of those lower ranked tournaments in Chengdu or Beijing, I think. I forgot which one it was, but I think he won a tournament before Shanghai, so he's in good shape now. I think he will maybe pull an upset, maybe he can win. He has a good solid baseline game, but the best player in this field is Fabio Fognini, and if he plays like he did in Shanghai the first couple of matches, I think he will win this tournament and lift the trophy and collect the 250 points. All right, folks, that was all for today. Thanks for watching. Take care and bye-bye.